Read Junk. Read Junk. Read Junk Podcast.
ReadJunk Podcast with your host, my guy.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's the ReadJunk Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Kremko. It's almost the end of the year, and I have a new episode. Yay! Might have one more episode to close out the end of the year. Gonna go over our best stuff list, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we can squeeze that in after Christmas and before New Year's Eve. But for now, got a new episode with Ryan Android. You might know him as Honorary Android on Teepublic. He's a shirt designer, does a lot of ska punk, something very similar to me, actually. It's kind of funny how that happened, but yeah, we have kind of similar styles. So I really wanted to talk to him and feature him on the podcast and just kind of shoot the shit a little bit. But he has like a lot of ska punk Disney themed kind of t-shirts. So maybe you've gotten something from him in the past. This episode, I wanted to talk to Ryan about shirts and just designing in general. Then we talk about ska and punk for a little bit, what shows we've been to, what some bands he likes, what some albums that stood out this year to him. And then later on, Ryan recaps going on the new Galaxy's Edge ride, Rise of the Resistance. But don't worry, he doesn't spoil too much. But you also just talk about Walt Disney World and the parks because I love Walt Disney World and he lives there. So we both just love that kind of stuff. So we talk about that for a little bit. And then we finish up the episode by talking about the Mandalorian, Disney Plus, and then some other shows that we've been checking out. It's a cool conversation, so be sure to check out Ryan's work at Teepublic at teepublic.com/user/honorary android. You can also find him on Instagram at Honorary Android as well. After that, you can also check out my stuff as well, Brian Kremko Designs on Instagram and Brian Kremko at Teepublic. If you're not already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, some other platforms, or you can just listen to the episode on ReadJunk as well. So let's get this episode rolling. Here's Ryan and I talking shirts, ska, and Disney World. What a combo. Right here on the ReadJunk Podcast. Hey, I'm here with Ryan from, I guess you know him as Honorary Android on Teepublic and other sites and stuff like that as well. We're going to be talking about t-shirts today. Going to be talking about Disney and just music and whatever else comes in between. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. So I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about t-shirts because I just got into, I just started like I just figured you out. I don't know where I found you. I think somebody that was in a ska band like mentioned you, and I went and looked up your stuff, and I'm like, wow, this guy does all the kind of same stuff that I do. Like, sort of like.
I think you liked one of my, when I noticed you were following me or liked my pictures or something, I'm like looking at your stuff and I'm like, this is like the same stuff I do. This is amazing.
I know, and I didn't know about you. I think it was Tedford who used to be like in some other ska bands. Yeah. But he like, I don't know where I go somewhere on Facebook. He's like, oh, check out this guy. I'm like, this is like the same stuff I do. It's almost like, so I kind of want to like, for this podcast, occasionally I want to just feature artists like myself. And I mean, you seem to be having a lot better following than I do. So you're doing something right.
I think it's just luck.
Yeah. So when did you start designing t-shirts?
2016.
All right, so it was a little bit after me. I think I started doing that in like 2015. So that's okay. That's interesting. And then, I mean, so what's your art background like?
Nothing professional, just for fun.
Yeah, like you never like went to art school or anything like that?
No.
Wow. So I mean, so what kind of like, what's like your medium? I guess like, do you just draw? Do you like just digital art or?
Now it's pretty much just digital because I can make as many mistakes as I want and they just disappear perfectly.
Yeah.
But I guess when I started like really getting like creative again as an adult, I was painting and I was doing like custom toys and stuff.
Oh.
And then I was like, one day I was like, I'm going to go buy a tablet with a touch screen and see if I can make art on that.
What kind of tablet?
I have a cheap Next book.
Oh, so like an iPad kind of size. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was teetering on whether to get that or get like the Wacom, whatever how you pronounce
it. I had bought one of those.
Yeah.
And I have a weird, like, I can't draw something and not see it come, from my hand.
Yeah, it definitely,
like there was a disconnect there. So I was like, let me go see if I can buy something where I can just draw right on the screen.
Yeah, and that's when because I had the tablet where you had to look up, and I'm like, this sucks. Like, I'm not used to doing this, like, kind of looking up kind of style. And then so I finally saved up money and got some, like, the tablet that you can draw on the screen, but it's such a pain in the ass to hook it up, and especially when I don't have like a area that's like a, dedicated area for my computer. I have just like a laptop, so it's like it's such a pain in the ass to hook it up. But then it's still like I can't get the settings right, and it's like, oh, maybe I should went with the tablet instead, like an iPad or something like that. Because I don't know, just like the natural flow of it feels a little bit better with an iPad kind of stylus pen, I guess.
And I most of the stuff I do is my the program I was using on the tablet wasn't supported anymore, so I couldn't update it. So I downloaded another a program called Inkscape, which it's kind of like Illustrator, but it's free.
Okay.
And I pretty much do everything with a mouse now.
Wow. I do that, like the pen tool for Illustrator. I do a lot of my designs that way. It's just something about it where it's just I gotten so good at designing that way. And then it's like I'm like, oh, let me try doing a pen, and then just like I'm like, damn it, it's just not working. Like I can't get it right. Yeah, it's just the way it is. Like I went to art school and then did fine art, and I did a lot of painting and stuff growing up, and kind of ventured into just web design. That's what I do for a living. But I still kind of do like the doodling, and then I got into t-shirts and doing Teepublic around 2015. And I kind of, now I've gotten really hardcore into doing it, just because it's nice little side money here and there.
And it's fun.
Yeah, and it's very also frustrating, as you probably know, of like thieves and takedowns, and especially with the stuff that we do, where it's kind of borderlines on a lot of intellectual properties that we shouldn't be doing. But it's like it's such a fine line of like it's fan art. It should be kept on there, and like it's punk rock. It's like,
people, they're not going after the people selling doodles at conventions. They're going after the guys that make $2 on. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, oh yeah. Printing.
And it's like I like what Teepublic's doing now with like the fan art stuff, but I haven't really done any of the stuff that's from those properties yet. But I'm hoping they expand. So why did you get into doing t-shirts?
I had friends that did it.
Yeah.
And I used to give my friend ideas all the time. And I was just kind of like, I could be doing this myself too. Like, I don't need to be giving away all the ideas. I could be doing the ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend's like, oh, it's something similar. My friend's like, I'll design the t-shirts, or I'll give you the idea and you design it. I'm like, but I'm doing all the work though. So it's like, and I'm like, well, we're going to split $1. It's not like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I'll just get my own ideas and do that stuff. Yeah, I can see why it's like, yeah, I'll just do it myself. Have you tried doing like an approach of not doing it on Teepublic or anything, and just maybe try doing it through conventions, like doing it that way?
I feel like most of my stuff is so niche that I wouldn't get the kind of audience that would buy a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like there's shirts on Teepublic that I'm really happy about, and I'll sell one. And then something that took me about 15 minutes, I've sold like 100. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard. Like I put up like the Wet Bandits one recently, and I didn't sell any of that so far. And I'm like, that's a great shirt that I came up with. Like, but it's like it takes a while for certain shirts. Like someone's got to share it, or like on social media. It's just so tricky. And then some things that I didn't think would catch on, like a Captain Ron shirt that sold like over 100. And I'm like, it's Captain Ron. I don't know why people were so into that one, but I'm like, okay, it happens. So why did you pick Teepublic first, or did you go with other sites and then you kind of just?
No, Teepublic was where I went first because that's what my friends were using.
Okay. Do you use other sites?
No, just Teepublic. I've thought about putting everything up on Redbubble too, but then I'm like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I started to do both, and then it kind of they would take some of them down that I put up, and then I just didn't get much sales over there that I do Teepublic.
Now that I thought of it, I've done a couple times. I've done shirts like to raise money,
yeah,
and I've done those on Teespring, which is kind of terrible.
Yeah,
but I didn't want the money. I wanted it separate from my normal shop.
Yeah,
and you make more money on Teespring, but that's where all the stolen shirts.
Yeah.
are.
And I've put up stuff on Teespring as well because I'm like, oh, the shipping's a little bit better than Teepublic, which I wish Teepublic's shipping would be better because I end up buying. I'm like my number one customer. I buy all of my shirts that I design. That's the way I design. I design the way shirts that I want as it's what I'll sell, kind of thing.
You actually have all of your shirts?
I don't have all of them, but I do
okay.
have. I mean, because I do have, I think, over 100 now. I mean, not.
Oh, wow.
But I do have probably like
have about
30.
Yeah, I would say I probably have about 30 of my own shirts.
Got some Christmas ones coming up soon, so I'm like, oh, and get my son some Christmas some shirts because he's like, oh, I want that one. I want that one. I'm like, well, I can't get you everyone. Yeah, and I signed up for the Amazon one, and I have like maybe 2 or 3 shirts up there where I'll occasionally get some sales.
How does that one work?
Yeah, I think it was like you had to like sign up for the program and then you get accepted. And it's like if you don't sell from a certain design within a couple of weeks, like they just take it down kind of thing. But there's like a lot of bootleg stuff over there too. So it's kind of, I'm kind of afraid to use anything but Teepublic because they seem like the only ones that have their heads on straight as far as like bootleggers and that will try to at least protect your work to an extent.
Yeah, I like that anybody can report a shirt on Teepublic too.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I've had my number one shirt that I did was it was a Deadpool fuck cancer one, which like blew up like wildfire. And, because all the bootleggers shared it with Ryan Reynolds wearing it. So then I'm like, why am I getting sales all of a sudden? And then, so it's like, it was a blessing and a curse. I was like, I sold, I don't know how many, but it's definitely been like over 2,000, 3,000 like shirts just on Teepublic. So imagine if those went to, somewhere else or like they didn't do that. And then like, I don't know if it would have sold as many if they didn't do that. But at the same time, because people are trying to look for it. And then I'm like, this is the original. And then at one point I donated to cancer charities as well. For that shirt for like a couple of certain months and stuff like that. So kind of to give back a little bit, but yeah, so that one's like my most popular one. Which design is your most popular one?
Right now, my most popular one is the Untitled Goose Game goose that I put a Disney pretzel in his mouth and mouse ears on.
Yeah. I've been seeing like a lot of memes for that and I don't understand the meaning behind it.
It's a game that's on Nintendo Switch where you play a goose that just runs around a community and steals things from people and just wreaks havoc.
Okay, because I saw that on Reddit and I shared it to you. I'm like, oh, people are posting about your shirt on Reddit on the Walt Disney subreddit, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that one got really popular because of Reddit, and then the snowman Yoda that I did, which is still up.
Yeah, mine's still up, and I'm selling some decent ones of "This is the way," but I changed it. This is the way, so try not to get it taken down.
That one's doing pretty well because people have been sharing that one on Instagram.
See, I thought the goose thing that everyone was sharing. I thought like it actually like a goose ended up in the park somewhere and like took someone's pretzel.
I mean, birds do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. They do that in Central Park with the squirrels. But I didn't think in Disney they did that. But yeah, I don't know. That's so. And you also you have like a lot of punk ska kind of mashups with Disney. It's usually at a Disney or like theme park, kind of stuff too.
Yeah,
I kind of do the same thing. Yeah.
90% of them are theme park related.
Is that what you were just like, you were set out to kind of have that niche kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I'm stuck in there sometimes now, but I'll still occasionally make something outside of that. And just, usually it finds who it's looking for.
Yeah.
Like I have some Black Phillip designs from the movie The Witch.
Okay.
And I don't even, one of them I never even posted, and I've sold a bunch of them, just from people looking for Black Phillip.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one of the reasons why you have a big following, because you just have a very specific Disney or theme parks kind of style with other punk and ska. Some people probably don't even know it's punk and ska half the time. That it's just it's Disney.
I think a lot of times they don't, and they just think it looks cool, which is fine to me. I kind of like. A lot of people have told me they like my stuff because it doesn't look like it's something designed based on a theme park or something.
Yeah.
Like it just looks like a t-shirt you would normally wear. But when you're in the right context, people are like, oh, I get that. That's Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. And I started because I was getting into, I went to Disney in the fall. So I'm like, I want to do a bunch of shirts. Then I'm like, I'll wear them around the park, see if people will notice it. Of course, I wore a Porgs one that I did was like that was based on the Pogues, and of course everyone loved that one when I walked around in Galaxy's Edge. But of course it was taken down like right before I went. I'm like, damn it, from The Usual Suspect. For the music licensing, who owns everything apparently, which was really frustrating because I was like, Disney didn't take that down, but they did.
Yeah, I think the first time I had something taken down by Bravado, I went in and took the musical artists' names off everything.
Yeah, and I've done that too, and I've done that for other properties, and I've changed things around. But I saw my sales decrease. I'm like, all right, so I either got to do really hardcore social media kind of stuff where I'm just constantly posting like 5 posts a day kind of thing and annoying everybody, or I just kind of sell as many as I can and just like shrug my shoulders when it gets taken down. I guess I don't know which is the right approach.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of vague stuff. I don't want
stuff getting taken down, but I want people knowing about it.
Yeah. So have you had any other issues as far as besides takedowns? Like obviously all the bootleggers and thieves and stuff, has been such a hassle. It seems like it's like a full-time job trying to hunt these people down. It's almost kind of like at the end of the day, just kind of say, fuck it, because it's not worth it.
Yeah. I don't even really look. Every once in a while, someone will send one of my shirts that they'll see an ad for. And sometimes they have other text added to them. And I think those are really funny. I'm like, it's like you made it terrible.
Yeah. I don't want people to buy it. And then it's like crappy quality. And then it's like, well, this guy's selling shitty stuff. And it's like, man, and it's frustrating because it's like, it's something you worked on. And I get why people do it because they're just bastards, but and I've had guys on Teepublic that were they copied some of my stuff and then repurposed it, and I tried doing a takedown, and the guy's like, that's not fair, you don't own the rights to Deadpool, and I'm like, he's like, oh, there's no choice, we're gonna have to go to court now. I'm like, so I just reverted back to him, like, have fun. I just kind of did it. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this headache. It's a big headache when it's part of the issue with designing kind of stuff like that. But what are you going to do, I guess? So do you have any tips for social media? Because I can't seem to get certainly Instagram, I can't seem to get a number of followers. I don't know if it's just it's what you said, luck with bloggers and Disney people sharing your stuff. It's like hashtags
I always try to put 25, 30 hashtags.
Yeah.
I try to usually do a post in the morning and a post at night. I haven't posted anything in like 5 days though.
I noticed that. What's up? What's up?
I've just been busy with my real life, my real job.
I know.
And then like just try to like get people talking, because if you get them commenting, you comment back to everybody, you'll show up in like the search and stuff.
Yeah, and I try to do that.
There's a lot of that, and then that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is like it's almost like a full-time job trying to do that as well. Yeah. And it's like I feel like Instagram's the best platform for us. I feel like Facebook is. I tried doing like the paid stuff, and I just feel like it's people just bots
I've
liking it.
That too.
Yeah,
it's like it gets seen by people that already follow you.
Yeah, and if it's or people that are just going to like the image and they're not going to go click on your link to buy something. Maybe in the occasional, but unless you're putting like a lot of money into it, and I don't see it's worth it. What else was I going to ask you? Everyone's running on. No. So I mean, so you're going to be doing. So you have a lot of T-shirts. Like you have, I don't even know how many T-shirts. Like was it like 1,000? Or
no, like it's like 360.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of someone else that's got like 1,000. I'm like, man, you're gonna be posting.
I don't know how those guys can have that much.
Yeah, I'm like, I try to pick the obscure kind of movies or ones that people like. If people have done it, I don't want to do it, and I try to do something that people haven't done. And then it gets frustrating when someone else has the same shirt as me, something similar. It's kind of like, but
yeah. There was a while where I was like coming up with ideas, and I was going on like searching for them, and I wouldn't find anything, and then I would do it and post it, and then I would find someone that did it already, and I'm like, you know what? I did it already. I'm leaving it up.
Yeah.
There's so much, especially with like fan art and like mashups and stuff. It's like there's so much.
And it's like
there's bound to be repeats.
Yeah, even repeats.
Like, a friend of mine messaged me the other day, and he was like, I have the Green Day, like American Idiot, but it's hold the lightsaber. And my friend did the same one. And he's like, I don't know if I saw yours and subconsciously did it again or what. He's like, but I'm sorry. And I'm like, I don't care. I was like, put it up in your store. It's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, it looks different than mine.
Yeah, if you just tweak it a little bit, yeah. This is like an obvious like rip off like some other people have done to mine. It's like, come on. Like at least change it up a little bit more. So you work with like I think your friends with the Steel or something. He's like on Instagram as well. Is that
yes?
Like he has some good stuff. So do you guys have like a project or something that you guys?
We do. We have another shop with a friend of ours named John that we do magnets and stickers.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, and it's funny because we wanted to do magnets because nobody did magnets, and then Teepublic started doing magnets.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed with the way that they're handling the shipping for that stuff because it's like I want to go order a shirt and a sticker or a pin and the separate shipping, and I'm like, come on, like no one's gonna buy this stuff. Like it's like get the same shop to do the same things. I don't know, and it's like the shipping's like the price is just insane, and then sometimes takes forever. I'm still waiting for an order that
Where do you live?
I live in New Jersey.
Where do you get your shirts from when you order from Teepublic?
Like, what do you mean? Like what delivery service?
Yeah, no, like where are they shipped from?
Oh, they might be. I don't know. It depends on. I guess it depends, but it might be like I forget honestly. It could be like Midwest or South.
Because there's a shop in South Florida. Okay. And this time last year, I ordered a bunch of shirts, and they all came in bad. And Teepublic's customer service has always been really great.
Yeah.
And I was just like, can you just send it somewhere else? Like, I don't want this shop printing it. And they still came back again, just as bad.
Yeah, it's like I have to do a lot of my designs. I have to do like 80% like shrunken down because they make them so fucking big, and it's like no one's gonna. I don't like the print like that big for some of the stuff.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and also the smell of it, and like you have to wash it before you wear it because it just Because
I had ordered a shirt for myself, and I had it shrunken down, and when it got it, it was 100%. It was huge.
Wow.
And I contacted them, and they did something on their end that would make it so it would always print the right size after that.
Oh. Yeah, I'm like teetering between a medium and a large. So it's like I keep some days I'll try it on, and like my Space Mountain one that I did, I'm like I can't fit it. So I'm like, can you send like a larger one, or just like for some reason it doesn't fit, and because they always switch around the material, the shirts. Yeah. So it's like now they have tags in it, so I feel like it's a different T-shirt. So now it's like it doesn't feel like it fits me as well. So like, and then so they just resend the same shirt. I'm like, okay, like who wants a free shirt because it's the same thing? But
yeah, I had a friend of mine that does the shirts too. It was like right around when they started, when they got rid of the branded shirts, the ones that had the logos.
Yeah, I like those. Yeah,
I love those. He complained about it, and they sent him his whole order again in the old shirts. But by the time, when it happened to me, they didn't have them anymore.
And if anyone from Teepublic's listening, we do like you guys, but you can switch things up. It's positive criticism.
It is, because I still like the shirts.
Yeah,
I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah, I'll see him at Comic-Con, and I'll like talk to some of the community managers and things like that when I'm there near Comic-Con. Yeah. Because they did. I don't know if they were there last year. I didn't get to go because it was right when I went to Disney World. So I was trying to schedule it around Comic-Con, and I'm like, I was like, I got back on a Saturday, and I'm like, maybe I'll go to Sunday. I'm like, I just walked like 40,000 steps a day. So are you working? So you're doing the magnet stuff and the stickers. Are you working on anything else? Like anything that's just like not for sale? Just.
No, not really.
No. But so we were talking about music and stuff, like on Instagram. And so you obviously like punk and ska.
Yes.
Your Spotify was pretty much ska this year from what you posted. I'm like, wow, I don't even listen that much ska.
Yeah. I went, in July, I went to Chicago to see, the Pilfers one night, and then the next night Hepcat.
Oh, nice! Wow, so I haven't seen Hepcat in a while. See, Hepcat.
It had been like 17 years since I'd seen them, so like that was a big deal that I was getting to see Hepcat again.
See, I did all the shirts for the Pilfers. Like the last, like Cooley would always ask for me to do shirts and stuff like that. So it's I've become close with Cooley. But yeah, that's why I did that. I did like a Radix Fest show in July, and Pilfers play with most of the original lineup and some other bands. It was fun. But how was Hepcat?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like they played for like almost 2 hours, and just it's amazing how much energy those guys have still. Like they were just dancing the entire time.
Yeah.
And I got to see Deals Gone Bad open for them, and I hadn't seen them before, so that was really awesome.
Yeah, they're good. I haven't seen them in a while. It's been, maybe within 10 years, I think I've seen them. Pilfers, I see like once a year. I saw Pilfers with Goldfinger last year on a boat, and that was quite interesting. Like one of those rock cruises that goes around Manhattan. Uh-huh. So, and then John Feldman like was crowd surfing, and I'm like taking pictures, and he falls on top of me, and I'm like, my glasses are falling off my face. It was bonkers. It was fun though, but I wouldn't do that again, I don't think. But Hepcat I haven't seen since the New England Ska Fest in 1998. That was Massachusetts.
Probably around, I want to say I saw them on the Warp Tour.
Yeah.
Was the time I'd seen them before July.
But they're playing that Supernova down in Virginia. I wish I can go to it, but you going?
I want to. I haven't bought tickets yet, but
yeah, I think they're doing some sale right now, I think.
It's such an incredible lineup too. Like it's like they're almost all my favorite bands.
Yeah, I'm like every time they would announce a band, I'm like, come on, I'm like I can't go to Virginia. I'm like hoping some of these bands will come up here or plays. I think like I just saw the Planet Smashers for the first time in like 20 years. So that was fun. They played with Goldfinger and Big D and Suicide Machines. So that was like the last concert I went to. I've only went to 5 shows this year. So usually I go probably like two a month when I used to live closer to the city, but just I moved away further from New York City, so it's been tougher to go to shows. Plus, I have a kid, so it makes it tough. You saw the Toasters too, right?
Oh yeah, I saw them October.
Oh, okay. So you're in what, Kissimmee?
Yeah, Kissimmee. And then like a couple weeks after the Toasters, I saw Vic Ruggiero, Dave Hilliard, and what's the drummer's name?
I don't.
He's like Lee Scratch Perry's drummer.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
I can't remember his name. But anyway, I saw the 3 of them perform as a trio in a bar that only holds like 50 people.
Oh, that's cool. I went to see one show in Orlando. I forget what club it was. It was Les and Jake, and it was probably in the late 90s, and my parents and I we'd go to Disney World every year, so we kind of scheduled it around the Les and Jake show that was in Orlando. It was like Fire something, maybe, I don't know. It was a big club, but yeah, it was around when Losing Streak came out for Les and Jake. So that was the only time I've experienced the Orlando scene for music.
Back then they had a pretty good, I guess we still have a pretty decent ska scene, but back then it was like all the bands played Orlando.
Well, they had that one. They had that one Moon Records comp that was just all Florida. It was
the closer than you.
Yeah, it was like Magna Dog. I'm trying to think of other bands.
Yeah, who else was on that one?
I forget. I didn't like every band, but was the Strange Ways from Florida? I don't remember. I don't know. It's been a while. So was there any like other shows that stood out to you this year? Since it's almost the end of the year, I figured I'd ask some like year in review kind of questions.
I think that was really all that I went to was. I saw Timeshares.
Who's Timeshares? I don't know them.
They're from New York. They're like hot water music style, like hardcore.
Oh, okay. Like an AFI kind of thing?
No, more like that Gainesville sound.
Oh. Okay.
They're like 2 singers.
Okay. Yeah, I never heard of it. Maybe I have. I don't know. There's been so many bands. Was there any albums that stood out to you this year?
The Agrolites, Reggae Now, which I was never really a fan of theirs before that album, but that album made me want to go back and listen to all their other stuff.
Oh, really? I don't know. Yeah, there's some. I liked a few of their songs. I didn't know if I didn't think it was as good as their first couple that they released on what was like Hellcat. But yeah, they're good. They're a good live band. If they ever get down there, go see them.
They played. I went into like the local record store and I bought that album. I think I bought a Slackers album too. And then like I got home and I was like, I wonder if Agrolites were playing anytime soon. They were playing that night in South Florida. I was like, well, guess I'm not going.
Okay, since you're an Orlando guy, I have a story that we once when we went down to Disney with our friends, like around college time, but my friends dragged me to a country bar in Orlando somewhere, and I didn't want to go, but so the thing is like they were like line dancing to like rap music, but then they would start throwing down their cowboy hats and they would start humping it. And then, like, apparently this is an Orlando thing, and I don't know what the deal with that was, but it definitely stood out as a memory.
I can't say that I've ever been to any country bars around here.
I don't know. Maybe it's just when you were a local. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it was just like that night there was just some weirdos. But I'm like, get me the hell out of here. Was there any like non-ska albums that you liked?
Yeah, I've been listening to so much ska this year.
Do you like the Skins?
I do like them, but I don't really listen to them a lot.
Oh, okay. They're a really good live band. If they ever come to that area, definitely go see them.
I like Catbite a lot. That they're just have an album came out this year. Have you heard them?
Yeah, I just saw them at the Thanksgiving show that I was at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it features guys from the Snails. They used to be in the Snails, like Rocksteady band from Philly.
I like them and Thirsty Guys, but that's another ska band that had a good album came out this year.
You're really into the ska.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other ska.
I know there's like not ska albums that came out this year. I like.
I wasn't a fan of the new Specials album. I don't know.
Laura Jane Grayson's Devouring Mothers. That's a good one.
Wait, which one?
Laura Jane Grayson, The Devouring Mothers.
I don't know that one.
That's her. From Against Me. It's her other band.
Oh, right. Laura. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I didn't hear the Laura Jane Grace part.
I like the new Menzingers album a lot.
Yes, that was my number one album that I think favorite.
Yeah, a lot of people I've heard didn't really like it, but I dug it.
Since their last album, I think they've really just matured their sound to be more like kind of like Gaslight Anthem, I guess, in a way, like the 59 sound, that kind of Gaslight Anthem. Yeah. But yeah, for those last two albums, I think they've just been excellent. It's funny. I saw them like in 2008, 2009 at some like tiny little like ska little festival, and they played like on a picnic bench kind of thing, and now they're just selling out venues and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, I saw them around the same time with Hot Water Music in Gainesville.
Okay. So I mean, so have you always been in Florida, or?
Pretty much. I lived in right outside Philadelphia when I was like a baby.
Okay.
And then when I was 30, I lived in New York City for a year.
Oh.
And then came back to Florida.
Okay. So just like recent. So just like the last couple of years, you've been in Florida?
No, like besides that, it's always been Florida.
Oh, okay.
1 year in New York City.
Okay. Were you like doing like school or something in the city, or were you like working?
I was being a stay-at-home dad.
Oh, okay.
His mom was working there, and the city was paying for her rent. So she was just like, "You guys come up here and live with me."
Okay.
So that's what we did.
I mean, I'm sure you saw some good shows then. If you could get out, maybe.
I did see Fucked Up, and they were really awesome. And I saw Pie Tasters play for free in an alley behind a bar.
Pie Tasters? This is in New York City?
Yeah.
What bar was that?
It was it was called like City Winery or something.
Oh, right. I got it. And it was like in their little market thing, and they had like an out there. Okay. I saw Willie Nile there. Yeah, he did the same thing. Yeah, that was cool. I love City Winery. They have. I don't. Do they have one in Florida?
No, I don't think so.
That's something that should be at Disney Springs, actually. If they ever venture down that way, it would be a good location because it's like a good music venue. They have really good food. The burgers are really good. If you like sit down music kind of thing.
We didn't even go inside because it was just outside.
Yeah, but I've been in inside the venue. Yeah,
I didn't realize it was an indoor venue too.
Yeah, they have them all over the place now. I'm trying to think of where they are, but like the bigger cities, kind of thing. But I'm surprised they don't have one down south. But okay, let's venture now. Let's do the Disney portion because I want to since you're so close to Disney, I really wanted to talk to someone that ride the Rise of the Resistance, and you just did that on Tuesday. Without trying to be too spoilery, because I'm trying to I've been trying to avoid all the ride, just see people's reactions kind of thing to it. So if you can kind of maybe just do maybe a quick little recap of what what your experience was like.
So do you want me to start with like the experience of actually getting to ride it?
Yeah.
Like before the actual ride?
Yeah, like that story, the whole story part, but not like try to keep like the vague of the actual ride. Yeah.
That's going to be easy because I've had a lot of practice not talking about it because not a lot of other friends have ridden it. So I'm like, well, you're not getting anything out of me.
Yeah.
So when they opened it, it opened on December 5th. And I was thinking I could go to work, get off work, drive over to the park, and I'd be able to ride it. No big deal.
Nope.
But what they ended up doing was it's only a virtual queue. So the only way you can get in the queue is if you're in the park, you go on the app and get request a boarding party. The problem is the boarding parties are gone within like an hour and a half after the park opens.
So like by 7 a.m. they seem like they're gone.
Well, maybe like 8:30.
Okay.
By then they'll be gone.
But I guess it depends on what day though. If it's the weekend, of course it's gonna be going quick.
I think they started opening the park later since I wrote it. So since I knew that you're going to have to go early in the morning to get there, I was kind of watching like Facebook and Instagram and stuff and seeing other people's experiences. I had off on Tuesday, so I got up at 4:00 in the morning. It takes me about half an hour to get to the park.
Oh.
So parked at 4:30. There was already maybe about 50, 60 people in line at security check.
Oh.
When more people started showing up for the security, they let us in. They just started letting everybody in. And then, so this is probably around 5:30. Everyone is just lined up at the turnstiles. And I guess it's depending on how many people show up is when they open the park. So around 6:30, they let us all in, and then we could get our boarding groups. And we got my friends that were here on vacation went with me, and we got in boarding group 8. So we're like, okay, cool. We're just casually walking over towards Galaxy's Edge. Right before we enter the tunnel to get in, we got the notification, boarding group 8 can go ride.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, sweet. So let's go. And, we walk in. They had to scan our magic bands just to get in to the line. And they were like, you're the first people here, by the way.
Wow.
So we were along the first group of 6 people to ride it that day.
Well, you lucked out.
I were because I've watched the vlogs and stuff of it, and I see people in the line, and I'm kind of like, it's so cool that we didn't have really any other people in front of us, that we got to see everything by ourselves.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, the line, the queue is massive. You could probably wait in that queue for 4 hours if they filled it.
It probably will get to that point too.
What's not even and that's not extending out of the, main area, just how it wraps around inside this building.
Yeah.
You'd probably be about a good 4 or 5 hours. But so
is there stuff to do on the queue though, or you didn't really experience it because you weren't waiting that long?
Well, there's tons of props and stuff in there,
yeah.
Flight suits and weapons and stuff for the Resistance. And but the way the ride works is it's almost like you're just going through the queue. Suddenly you're in a room and the experience starts.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like every other ride where there's a pre-show and then you get on board a car and then you do the ride.
Yeah.
There's several things before you even get on the ride that are part of the experience.
Huh. Awesome.
Because you start out, you're on Batuu, you're in this Resistance base, and you get a mission, and you're infiltrated by the First Order, and then you're in a First Order ship.
Nice. And it feels like you're on on a ship kind of feeling.
It's the transition between being in this resistance area to being on the Star Destroyer is like one of the coolest transitions they've ever done. Because it's essentially like the stretching room at the Haunted Mansion, except feel like you're in a completely different spot when you come out the other side.
Well, it seems like they got a home run here.
Yeah, it's there's like the ride is multiple floors when you're in the car. And it's like a combination of like everything. There's screens, there's like Pepper's ghost effect, there's physical props, there's like, I want to say there's something like 60 animatronics. Most of them are stormtroopers, but
yeah, I've seen like the one shot of just all the stormtroopers like lined up. I couldn't tell if that was actual animatronic or it was like a blue or like the screen or not, but
they move a little bit. They're all like there. I know some might be just like mannequins, but they'll move their heads a little bit or like, move their arm a little.
But yeah, I haven't been watching too many videos, but I've seen that shot and I've seen the one shot of like the walker kind of things where you go kind of underneath it. So I mean, is it kind of like in a way Great Movie Ride a little bit? It
does remind me of that a lot.
That's great because I love Great Movie Ride and it's gone.
That's some kind of feeling like you're really, it feels like you're really in Star Wars now. Like it's not like passive, like you are in Star Wars when you're on Rise of the Resistance.
So your overall feeling is this is like the best ride in Disney World now, or?
I mean, it might be the best, but it's still not my favorite.
Oh, so what's your favorite then?
It's still not Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay.
Or Splash Mountain. Like I love those two. Those are But it's like the next step in the evolution of like the way they tell stories and the way that you experience things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping like they update a lot of stuff to go more to that direction of like Avatar and some of those rides, because I feel like they could be doing so much more, especially like, and get the classic ones, like try not to update it too much kind of thing. But yeah, I feel like they can be doing so much more with, and I wish they had like a Muppet Land. Like I feel like they really dropped the ball with the Muppets. Like I still love Muppet 3D, but
they could have had it. They tried, but then once Jim Henson died, that all kind of fell apart.
Yeah. I feel like they just mishandled the whole property in like Disney Plus. Kind of they had something and then it's not there, but it's like I going back from when I was went to Disney Hollywood Studios and going to Muppet 3D. I still love watching that one show. I'm like, oh man, I wish they could do more with it.
I hope they never get rid of that.
No, I feel like that and Star Tours. I don't know what they'll do with Star Tours. Just keeping it or move it. Maybe they eventually move it to Galaxy's Edge. I don't know. I don't know if it would make sense to do that.
Yeah, I think it's fine where it is. It's like that's like the theme park version of Star Wars.
Yeah,
Galaxy's Edge is you're in Star Wars, especially now that it's complete.
Well, I mean, do you think it's complete now. So, I mean, what's your overall view of Galaxy's Edge, like with Smuggler's Run, and then like do you feel like it's just like a shopping mall for Star Wars fans, or do you actually feel like it's an actual land?
No, I think it's an actual land. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's going to be shopping. It's Disney.
Yeah.
like people, I hear them complain like, oh, it's just a bunch of places to buy things. But it's like when New Orleans Square opened at Disneyland, there were no rides. It was just stores. And now it's got Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went to Disney in the fall, and so I did Galaxy's Edge. I did it, I think, 2 or 3 times. And I think the best time to go is like right before the park closes, like the last hour. And like at nighttime, it feels a little deader than going like right in the morning kind of feeling. And I love the blue milk, love the green milk. I think I like the blue milk better.
I only tried the blue one. I haven't tried green yet.
It's kind of like a citrusy kind of flavor to it. I mean, it's $8 a pop though. It's kind of expensive, but I'm like, when in Disney World, it's splurge. But I wasn't going to splurge on the $200 lightsaber. It's just too much. As I was saying, like for the one percenters.
It looks like a mag light with a lightsaber coming out of it.
I put a $40 one, and that was fine. The only problem though is when you put it on, it only lasts for like 5 seconds and then turns off. I don't know if it's like on a trial run kind of thing or like a test setting, but it gets kind of annoying when you're trying to play and then play with it kind of thing.
Turns off.
Yeah, but I'm like, for $40, and then take pictures with it, and I love the stormtroopers walking around. They interacted with us, especially if you have a kid with a stroller. That kind of they attract to that and go and talk with you. So that was like the really fun experience. But I feel like the land needs more like droids, characters walking around besides just stormtroopers.
I mean, yeah, they're supposed to be droids, like that was
moving around.
That there was going to be droids.
Yeah, like at every Comic-Con that I go to, they have someone with a remote control with a R2D2 do something like that, and then have more like characters walking around besides stormtroopers.
You see Kylo every once in a while, and Rey.
I didn't see him. Yeah,
Chewie's there sometimes.
So
There's
Chewie, and then like the blue-haired kind of girl walking around.
I see her all the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. She's in the books. I do really like that they made a character from the books, a walk around character.
I wonder if Batu will be in the new Star Wars movie. I guess we'll find out in a week.
I don't know. I don't know if they'll probably bring that into the world like down the line, I think.
Yeah, maybe like a Disney Plus kind of thing or in the cartoons.
I'm really surprised that they. We're not really surprised, but I would definitely not be surprised if they shot like a Mandalorian episode at Galaxy's Edge.
Or you mean like Batu? You mean or like?
Yeah, just but just filmed it right there because it's California. They could do it in California, I'm sure. Like, yeah, they make movies out there. Like, it wouldn't even be. They'd probably bring in lights. That's all you got to do. It's already.
Into some blue screens kind of thing. Yeah, they probably can get away with it. And I was tying my shoe, I think, by the cantina. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'm hearing like ships fly over my head. I'm like, I'm looking up because I'm thinking there's flying over me. And it's kind of like a cool feeling. Did you get a chance to go? You went to the cantina though a few times, right?
I went the first time after I got off Rise of Resistance.
Okay. So I only went once too. And the experience was kind of, I had a 4-year-old, so it was kind of, and we had to stand at a table, so it was kind of annoying to stand, and he couldn't even reach to the table. And we went in breakfast too, so it was kind of like we had like the cinnamon rolls. I like the cinnamon roll kind of thing that they had, the lava, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Mustafarian lava roll. Or something.
And then I had the blue bantha milk with the cookie. I'm like, I figured I'd give my son Connor the cookie, so at least he ate that. And then that was the first time I tried the blue milk, but I actually like the smoothie version better. And it's funny enough that the one in the cantina is $13. That's more money.
I wanted to try that one. I thought maybe I'd like the one in the cantina more. That's like milk, not as like that frozen.
Yeah, so I like the frozen one better.
I tried the what I have in there. I don't remember the name of it. It was a coffee. It was like a tiki drink. Okay. But instead of alcohol, it was coffee. So it was like coffee and passion fruit juice and like lime. And it was very weird, but it was good.
Yeah, I think it was too early in the morning. I feel like they weren't as lively as I've seen other videos where it's like they're like chanting and like Rex was just kind of, he wasn't really doing much. But I was getting annoyed because there wasn't a bathroom in there, so they had my wife had to go to the bathroom, so it was like she had to leave the cantina. So as that was happening, the table was kind of empty, and they kept trying to put people at our stand-up table. I'm like, we already have 2 groups here, like sharing a table, and like it was kind of like a bad experience for the cantina. Maybe if I went again and we sat down, it would be a little bit better, but I don't know.
They're even allowed to have it without having a restroom in it.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were thinking with designing that. The Imagineers, like, I guess, forgot the bathroom.
They don't have those in this part of space.
But the actual bathrooms though were kind of cool though, with like the way they had like the troughs or something for like the guys and It's definitely the way they designed certain things was good. Did you ever build a droid or anything like that?
I haven't. I do want to do that, but I haven't done it yet.
See, we already had like a little small BB-8 that we kind of play with every once in a while. I'm like, I can't see spending like $100 on this thing that we'll play every once in a while. And the same thing with like a $200 lightsaber. I'm like, I want to play with it. I'm like, that thing's gonna break. And like,
I wish you could just go in there and do it and not take the lightsaber home.
Yeah, exactly. I want to experience that.
And then you can keep it. I just want the experience.
Yeah, because I've seen people doing it. It's like, oh man, I was crying, and my buddy, who's like a huge Star Wars fan, was like, I was crying when I was holding it. I'm like, yeah, I saw the video. It looked good, but can't afford it. I'm like, already spending thousands of dollars just going to Disney. Now, I mean, so what do you, as Galaxy's Edge aside, what do you think of the upcoming changes for Epcot?
I'm like super excited.
Yeah, the Guardians coaster looks cool. It looks like it's gonna be cool.
I like everything. Like, I know a lot of Disney people want Epcot to be like put in amber in 1985 and remain that way forever.
No,
but it
badly needs to be updated.
It needs to grow. It's been neglected for far too long, and now they're finally doing something. Like, I'm really surprised they've already started taking buildings down. Like, I was like, these are going to be the first budget cuts. I was like, they're not going to tear these buildings down. They're not going to get rid of the fountain, and they're gone.
Oh yeah, they got the fountain gone when I got there. I was like kind of bummed, so I wanted to take pictures of it, but I'm like, oh well. I was there at the last night for Illuminations, and I was fucking bonkers. I'm like, I've never seen it that crowded before. Of like just the entire area, and then I didn't eat anything either, so I was like trying to walk around, it was during food and wine, so trying to find stuff, and it was just like so. And then it started raining too, so it was like made it just like a really like. That was the first night we went there too, and it was that of our trip was Illuminations at the final night. So I'm like, oh, we got to do it, because that's like my dad's favorite thing, was going to see Illuminations and dragging us there to go see it. And I'm like, I had to go pay tribute to my dad, because he passed away a couple years ago. But I was like, I need to go to Illuminations. I got to do it. And then so like I put my son on my shoulders, and then as soon as Illuminations started, it's just the rain kind of stopped. So kind of like, that was nice. And then quickly got the hell out of there, and thankfully you didn't have to wait hours.
I know usually for locals, it's you leave right as an Illumination is starting.
Yeah.
It's like you hear them start the music, and you're like, all right, time to go home.
But then we went back a few days ago for the Epcot Forever one, and I was like totally disappointed. I was ready to leave halfway through it. It was just boring.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't recommend. It's only a temporary thing.
Yeah, I was there one night when it was going on. We were standing in Mexico, like behind the building there on the water.
Yeah,
so we could hear the music and stuff. And I was like, the music's all right. I like this.
Yeah, and then they have like these flying kite things, and it's like wasn't enough. And then as that's happening, you could see like Happily Ever After from Magic Kingdom. You see all the fireworks still going on. I'm like, oh, we should have went over there. Because like with the night before we did the Halloween party, so we were like we were there like twice already. So I'm like, let's stay just Epcot today, and it's like even like Spaceship Earth. I'm like, I'm hoping they update it a little bit better, because the last time I was on Spaceship Earth was when Jeremy Irons was narrating it. So it's been a while now. It's like was Judi Dench, and I guess it's gonna be probably updated now. I think they're closing in the new year, so I'm hoping that's updated well.
I like that they're going to make the story about storytelling instead of communication. Like, it's going to focus on how humanity has told stories and shared them with each other, which is something that like doesn't really need to be constantly updated.
Yeah. It's going to be seeing Caveman do the selfies, and I'm like, what else? What else are they doing? They're doing the Mary Poppins,
whatever they're doing.
Ratatouille. Like, yeah, I don't know if they're doing the Mary Poppins if it's a show or is it a ride.
They haven't said yet.
Okay.
They're going to build the neighborhood.
Yeah,
and you're going to go into the Banks' house, and there's going to be something. That's like as much as they've said.
as long as they don't close down the mini trains in Germany, and that was my kid's favorite thing. Like I want to see the trains. So we got to go back. And then like we did the Skyliner, and then for our last night we did the Skyliner, which was the day before that one accident kind of thing. So
I rode it that day too. That was the first time I rode it. It was the night before that.
Oh, on that Friday? Wow. Okay. Yeah, we went. And then we went to Disney Hollywood Studios. So we were probably in the park the same day. That's crazy.
I only went and rode the thing though.
Oh, okay. That was it.
We went out to dinner, like a bunch of Josh the Steel. He was with me.
Okay.
And we were at dinner and we were like, should we just go ride the Skyliner? So we went and parked at Hollywood Studios, got on the Skyliner, rode it over to the resorts, and then rode it back.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what to think of it yet, because it was like I liked it because it was somewhat convenient. It kind of reminded me of like subways. Like you have to get out to go to the next hub, kind of thing. That was kind of annoying, but I get it. But it felt like we were kind of going the opposite way when we were going from Disney Hollywood, going from Epcot, and then we had to go to Caribbean, and then we had to go back up, I guess, to Disney Hollywood Studios. But it felt like we were going out of the way. I wish it was just like a more direct way to Disney Hollywood Studios. But maybe over time they'll do something different. But
yeah, if it's successful as they want it to be.
I mean, it seems like there hasn't been an incident since that.
No.
But I'm like, yeah, they were coming in when I noticed, like when they would go into the hubs or the turns, like they would come in pretty fast. So I think they probably corrected that. I think that was probably the issue, because it looked like dominoes.
Yeah, those things, they did really. Because we're going down and we're like, wow, you're really coming in fast, aren't you?
Yeah. And my wife was like freaking out. She's like, if we went during sunset. So it's like, if it was during a day, I'm like, it's like, there's no AC inside. I don't know how it would be. It would be kind of pretty sweaty, I would think.
Yeah, it was night too when we rode it.
Okay. Yeah, there's like, it's not, and I also don't like the decals on the ends, on the outsides, because it's kind of hard to see, but I guess it's Florida. What else are you really going to see? It's like swamps. I'm trying to think what other stuff's happening in Magic Kingdom. They're doing the Tron one.
They're doing a Tron. Yeah, they're building a Tron roller coaster.
That one looks awesome. Now I think it's in Japan right now. That one, right?
It's Shanghai.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the only thing they got going on over there right now.
Yeah, I feel like they need to do something else. There's a lot of stuff there, but I still feel like it needs something else, like another land, or I don't know. I feel like they could be expanding so much, especially Animal Kingdom too is like another park I think needs to be expanded on. Which it seems like they only have two things for Avatar, which the Journey one I think was a complete waste of time. I had a fast pass for that because like the tier system with the fast pass is like so annoying. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll do the Navi Journey. And I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad I didn't wait longer than like 5 minutes for this thing.
Yeah, it's something. The animatronic at the end is cool though.
Yeah, it is, and it's like colorful. But I was like, man, at least I waited 45 minutes for the Flight of Passage because I couldn't get a fast pass for that. Which I think that was a really good ride. I don't know if it's like the best or it's definitely not my favorite. I still like. I don't know which one's my favorite. I think Slinky Dog's probably my favorite now because I rode that like 3 times when I went there.
That's a good. I only rode that the night before it opened. I rode it.
Oh,
my girlfriend and I were at home and we were on our phones and one of our friends was there in Toy Story Land because they had soft opened it and we're like, all right, let's go.
Nice. And now it's like it's so hard to get a fast pass for. And yeah. My kid, we rode it twice, and then the last night we were there, my kid like had a tantrum because I didn't want to wait an hour for it, so we were trying to go on the spinning one, the aliens, the alien saucer one, and then the people at the alien saucers are like, and he was like crying, and they're like, are you okay? Like, oh, we don't want to. Andy doesn't like to see his toys upset, so here's a fast pass for Slinky Dog. We're like, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, I'm gonna tweet. I'm like, what's your name? I'm gonna tweet this out. I'm like, that was so nice that they did that. So it's like, Sometimes it's like those little magic moments. I'm like, all right, he should have been crying for all these rides. Couldn't be getting off. But yeah, we did Slinky Dog during sunset. That was amazing. Like at 6 o'clock in the morning, I was just seeing it. It was like pink skies. It was just gorgeous. And Seven Mines was cool too, as far as roller coasters. I don't know if I still Big Thunder Mountain, like the classic. It's still but I did Space Mountain at the Halloween party, and I heard about that. It was different and it was like dark, but I didn't know it was that dark during the Halloween party. Like to just turn off all the lights and with different music. It was fucking scary.
They for the Christmas party, they're running Space Mountain with the lights on. Like
completely on, or just like Christmas kind of lights?
No, like completely on.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It's also scary. I've ridden it before with the lights on, because then you're seeing everything.
Yeah, and I've definitely experienced that where I felt like my head's just gonna pop off. Because this is like one of those old timey roller coasters, but man, it's still one of the scariest roller coasters that I've been on. Like that, and rock and roll coaster is still pretty scary.
I like rock and roller coaster. I just don't like waiting for it.
Yeah, I did the single rider, and I waited like almost an hour for that, for just a single one.
Yeah, like that one. For I guess most people go in groups of like 2 and 4.
Oh, okay.
So it's like they gotta get those groups of 3 so they can use the single riders. But the ride is only like a minute and a half.
Yeah. So I'm like, I was like to my wife and my son, I'm like, you guys do the Cars Academy thing. I'm gonna go do rock and roll. Because my wife doesn't really do roller coasters, or ones that especially that go in loops. So I'm like, I'll do this one. You go ahead. And then I knew where the picture was taken, so I did the double horns and stuck my tongue out, and I ruined someone's photo because everyone else had just like a straight face. So I looked like a goof, kind of doing the double horns. I'm like, sorry. Are you gonna do the Galactic Cruiser Hotel thing when that comes out in 2021? If you can afford it, I don't know. It seems like it's gonna be expensive.
For it, I might. The thing that I think is weird about that, and it's never been brought up, but it's like, how are they really gonna have enough for you to do that you're gonna be in that hotel room for like 3 days and not be able to leave?
I think it's like 2. Isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
I think it's
but
like, I think it's like 2
be
nights.
In a building with no windows for an awful long amount of time.
It's like going to Vegas or something. It's like you don't know what time it is. You're always inside. But I feel like it would be something like they have to go on adventures, or the ship, something happens with the ship. It's like murder mystery kind of thing, maybe. Yeah.
There's gonna be, because I know you're gonna be able to go to the bridge and control the hotel from the bridge,
and then you'll probably have fast pass exclusives to Batu. I would think
like a Batu excursion kind of thing. I wonder if that's going to be before it opens, so you're going to get the land with just other hotel guests.
Yeah.
Or after it closes, and you just get to go there with whoever else is staying in the hotel, which that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if that might be something worth paying for if it's still 4-hour waits sometimes to some of the rides. I know Smuggler's Run's still pretty long lines. I think we only waited half hour.
It's usually on an hour. I think it's been 2 hours recently because of everybody showing up to Rise of the Resistance.
What do you think?
We got lucky and only waited about 45 minutes on the opening day to ride it.
Yeah, that's kind of. I was expecting it to be like how it is for Rise of the Resistance, where you can't ride it for the rest of the day kind of feeling. But I guess everyone wanted that was the one that everyone heard about and wanted to do, and
yeah.
But I was I just wanted to stay away from all the videos. I feel like that was part of the experience of Galaxy's Edge. Kind of ruined it for me, was seeing every vlogger just post every little waking moment of Galaxy's Edge that you kind of knew everything that was happening. So it kind of ruined it in a way. And maybe going forward, I won't do that. Because you get in when for me, you're a resident, so it's kind of different. But for me, we watch Disney Food Blog, we watch Serena Living by Disney, all those kind of videos. We did, like other bloggers, and I would watch those like daily. So it's like it would get inundated with just old Disney stuff all the time. That when you finally get there, you get kind of like, you just know what's going to happen. So I don't know, if for anyone that's listening that hasn't gone to Galaxy's Edge, I would recommend just like not trying to watch too many of the videos and kind of go in and see for yourself, and experience everything. Cause it's, I don't know, sometimes it's worth it to be kind of spoil free in a way. Do you have Disney Plus?
Yes.
So you've been watching Mandalorian. What do you think of that?
I like it a lot. I like that it's just like very episodic, like in an old school kind of way where
it seems like just one-off episodes.
Yeah, the plot isn't really progressing much. It's just...
That's my only complaint. I feel like it needs to progress a little bit.
I'm kind of getting to the point, like after this week's episode, I was kind of like, can we just get a little bit more? Because I thought it was coming, like with Carl Weathers popping up on the ship. I was like, oh, we're going to get something to tie this into everything. And it was like, oh no, that didn't happen.
So what do we got? 2 more episodes left?
Yeah, 2 more for just the 27th is the last episode, I think.
Okay, so right around when Rise of Skywalker comes out. Okay, or a little. I guess it's after. I guess
the week after.
Okay, right. Yeah, the latest episode was good. We had it's just like a bunch of interesting character actors and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's that person. That's that person. Yeah. It feels like that every episode though too. It's like, oh, that person. Oh, they're not in it anymore.
Yeah, and then like with the one in the first episode, the Taika Waititi did the voice of the IG-11, and it's like, sweet, this guy's really cool, and then he's gone. And I'm like, are they gonna bring him back? Like,
that's my only complaint. I mean, I can see why it's like that, so they can have a bunch of just good quality actors in it just for one episode. But I feel like it needs to continue a little bit. At least, like all these people that are featured like in the posters, you think are going to be like the entire series.
I thought they were going to be regular characters, and it's like, where'd they go?
Yeah, and the latest episode, nothing spoilery, but it was like when it gets with the lights turned off and the blinking, it just was driving me crazy, and I was like, okay, when's it going to stop?
I think that that one has been my least favorite. Like that was the one I was like just kind of not as invested in the story.
I liked it. I thought it was good. It was kind of interesting seeing Bill Burr in it. He's saying wise ass. I'm like that doesn't really sound Star Warsy.
And the devil guy there was Clancy Brown.
And then what's her name from Game of Thrones and Harry Potter? Natalie something. I forgot her. Yeah, I'm forgetting her last name. And then Richard Ayoade from IT Crowd.
Yeah, he was the robot there, the droid. I liked that droid. That was a cool design.
Yeah. He looked kind of familiar, like he was like kind of slightly based off of that buggy kind of eye guy from Empire, one of the bounty hunters.
Yeah, that bug looking droid.
So is there any other Disney Plus shows that have you checked out?
Imagineering Story.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of waiting for it to end and then I'll watch it.
The last episode was Friday.
Oh, was it? Okay, so I gotta watch that.
6 episodes.
Okay.
I haven't seen that one yet. Actually, I'll probably have to watch that later.
So are they like hour and a half?
I think they're all an hour.
Okay.
And like every one of them, my girlfriend and I are watching it. And we're like, we're not gonna get emotional. And they're like, oh, there it comes. They're gonna get you in every one. We were watching the Jeff Goldblum one.
I watched the one, the tattoo one. I watched like 2 or 3. Yeah. I mean, my site is kind of like notorious for just having Jeff Goldblum on a pedestal. Like I have a couple of Jeff Goldblum t-shirts. Like we kind of have like, he's like almost like the unofficial mascot of our site in a way. So I definitely watched a few episodes of that and I love it. Like he's such a character.
What else is there? I'm trying to think. Most of the new stuff I've watched.
Wasn't there like a movie that was like a Christmas movie? And my brother said that was kind of crappy.
Noel.
Yeah. And then, it was awesome. Yeah. I've been watching, just been watching a lot of the animated shorts. There's some that are missing. Because I still have the Walt Disney Treasure DVDs. Yeah.
I'll have a lot of those.
I'm like, man, I should just rip them and sell them because they're like worth hundreds of dollars. But yeah, it's like I love Humphrey the Bear. So they had a couple of those in like Chip and Dale cartoons. Like, so I've been showing my son a lot of those. He's like, he wants to watch the same Mickey cartoons.
Like the new Mickey cartoons?
Well, he watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on the Disney Channel, but I was showing him like the old ones too. But he keeps wanting to watch the same old Mickey ones. I'm like, no, there's some other ones you got to watch. There's Donald and Goofy, and there's other ones. But all right. So I think you want to watch The Watchmen, don't you?
I do.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of waiting for it to end, which I guess is tonight.
It ends tonight.
Yes, I'll binge it.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Would you put it on like the top of your list for favorite show?
No, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm torn between like The Boys. I mean, even though Game of Thrones was the last season one is great, it's still up there as my favorite show of all time. So I can't really put it pegged down too low on my list of favorite shows. But I think The Boys was definitely. Have you seen that yet?
I watched the first couple episodes, and I think there was something else I started watching and distracted me.
Okay, I finished it up. It's good.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah,
there's so many shows I gotta finish. Like I never even watched the third season of Daredevil.
Wow, that was a good season. But I guess there's no rush now since they're closing down the Marvel TV studios or whatever.
See, that's what I'm wondering too with the Disney Plus Marvel shows. It's like I hope they're not going to be the same formula as The Mandalorian. Like I hope that they're more.
Well, I think they're going to be tying it. I think they're going to tie into the movie somehow. They were saying so.
Yeah, but the WandaVision, that one can be like that kind of classic sitcom style.
I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that. I'm like, that's one I'm definitely curious about. The animated one I'm kind of curious about, but that one's the animated one with the What If or whatever it is. I think that's like my least kind of anticipated one. Definitely Hawkeye and
Hawkeye is one I'm really hoping is good, even though I don't like Jeremy Renner. But Hawkeye is one of my favorite comics. So,
and was it the Winter Soldier and
Bucky and the Winter Soldier.
I think that's the first one that's coming out. When is that coming out? Is that the spring?
I think they're all 2020. I mean, that's only in a couple weeks, 2020.
Well, yeah, I think they're only filming it. Maybe it's like May. That comes out along with like Black Widow. The movie comes out. That should be interesting. I wonder if. I don't know what to think about. Like, if it's just a prequel or if it's gonna like somehow explain things and maybe she's not really dead, and I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
But it's a good time to be a geek because there's so much content, but at the same time, that's another problem. There's so much content. Yeah, so it's like, man, it's like, oh, did you watch the show? I'm like, no, I haven't watched it. Just like, I have a kid and
time. Like last night, I was watching Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Which one's?
And it's the crossover of like the DC.
Oh, is it on the DC platform one?
No, it's on. It's like with Arrow and Supergirl and Flash.
Okay.
It's on regular TV.
See, I haven't.
And I'm like, I don't watch any of those shows, but I kept hearing of all the guest stars and stuff they were gonna have, and I'm like, well, I want to watch it. I'm like, let's see if it was easy to pick up. Like I didn't have to be watching these shows for years to understand what was going on.
Yeah, for some reason I never really got into like the CW DC kind of stuff. I just kind of like
I never really did either. But Kevin Conroy was going to play live action Batman, and I was like, I have to watch that.
Oh well, yeah. Every Comic-Con I would go to, I would always go to a Batman Beyond or Batman animated series. So I would see him all the time. I was like backstage. I saw him walk by. I'm like, I'm not gonna say hi to him, but he's a tall dude though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like him. He was in one episode where he's like in the future, and he's like this old Batman, and he's got the armor like in Kingdom Come because of all his injuries. That he's got to have this suit to like help him walk.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. All right, I think we're going to wind down here. All right, so it was good talking to you. So where can people find you? Like on social media and stuff like that?
On Instagram, at Honorary Android, and Teepublic, Honorary Android, and Facebook, Honorary Android.
You're not on Twitter, though?
I am. I just hardly ever use it.
Okay. I feel like I think I just saw an article recently where someone where about something on Twitter where if you put like, oh, I want that T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you put Boston, then they would start putting that thing on. So someone put that on there. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to put things on Twitter anymore. But I guess it could be any social media. But anyway, yeah. So it was a good talk, man. Thanks for a lot for doing that, and maybe I'll see you down in Orlando sometime if I ever get back down there. Probably be a year or two next time I get down there, but maybe we'll meet up or something.
That'd be cool.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.